I wanted to address a topic that came up recently on my trips to Chicago and Atlanta, where I kicked off two different searches. One was a CEO search, public company, and the other is a CFO search, again, public company. My audience on the first was a board consisting of 7 individuals, and the other was the CEO and CHRO. And both of those, we call them kickoff calls, they asked me one question. Will our search be impacted if we require our executive to move their family to our location, to our corporate office? And I responded that that's a very interesting question because we are being asked that daily by our clients. And the reality is, I do believe companies will be impacted if they have a set policy that requires all executives, including CEO, to be in a location. Now, what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that you won't still be able to attract great talent. It just means that the funnel of talent that's available on any given search, in my mind, has probably decreased by at least 1/3 of the total candidate pool. The right candidate pool, I'm not just talking numbers, but the right candidate pool will have diminished by at least 1/3 the ability of that company to attract the broader range of leaders. I get asked every day on all of my searches, and these are significantly large projects from the CEO to the C-suite. Within the top 3 or 4 questions, a candidate will ask me, David, does this position require me to move to the corporate location? And where I say yes, I would estimate that 1/3 of the total population that we are targeting for that assignment will withdraw from the process. No matter how exciting it is, no matter what the upside is, no matter what the brand name is, they have learned that over the last 20 plus months during this pandemic, that they can and have operated equally, if not more so effectively, sitting in a secondary location. So what does this mean to companies? This means that you really need to think through each and every one of your hires, from CEO to the direct reports to the CEO. How important is it that that specific individual be brought into the corporate office on a daily basis? Now, you don't make a decision based on one individual. You really have to look at it holistically because you can't make an exception for one. But if the reality is you can retain the top talent by allowing that top talent some flexibility to not be physically in the office every day, or in many cases having to move their families halfway or totally across the country, you're going to have a bigger pool of great talent to consider for your specific opportunity. This isn't a one-shoe-fits-all conversation. Companies are struggling with this decision every day, trying to figure out the impact on culture, the impact on leadership, the impact on just being able to attract talent at all levels of the organization. But I would argue passionately with a client that if they have the flexibility to allow their leaders to make the decision as to whether or not they want to come in every day or whether or not they want to move to a specific location, that will in many instances give them the highest probability of both retaining the current executives they have and attracting new talent into the organization. And for all of us, look, the lifeblood of any company is talent. You can't afford to lose talent. People are doing the craziest things with companies to try and recruit them in. And again, I'm talking senior level talent, different programs, different options, different incentives. And I think every organization needs to look at culturally what the impact of having some remote workforce looks like, and I'm talking again executive level, and how that's going to impact their ability to lead and inspire the teams that they currently lead, and how also the connectivity between those specific individuals with the other ELT members, the CEO, and often the board plays out as well. So clients, please consider remote leadership workforce a thing that's going to be here to stay. I don't see that going away. Be talking with your team about how you manage that effectively. And the race for talent, the war for talent is as great as I've ever seen it in 30 years. So do what you can to be thinking outside of the box. Do what you can to be progressive in your thinking. And don't have senior leaders question whether or not there's a progressive leader at the top just because they won't give them the option to have some flexibility as to where they stay. With that, I'm going to wish you the best. Please do send to me any additional ideas that you'd like me to talk about. I'd be delighted to share my views with you here, and I wish you a beautiful day. Cheers.